I think a lot of companies started to take SOX for granted. It's been around for a long time. Um, but I think what we found is that companies change and evolve, and the risks that they face evolve. Those risks include the way that their business is moving towards a digital world. And so as more and more information is captured on systems, and sometimes those systems are somebody else's, we really do start to have a more complex environment that the company works in. And the same controls that worked for the company 5 years ago probably may not work for them any longer. There may be new areas that they focus on. And then you couple that with, I think, the big focus by the PCAOB and their desire to make sure that there's a lot more rigor behind the reviews of internal controls over financial reporting. So that's really caused companies to have to rethink what they're looking at. They're working with their external auditors who are getting a lot of pressure to focus on the most relevant parts of the control structure within an organization. And again, areas that didn't get touched much in the past are now being looked at. So things like the information provided by the entity, things like SOC reports. And so we're relying upon a third party for the work that we do are becoming much more relevant to the organization. We finally have seen SOX costs start to normalize. So after many years of SOX costs going up and going through probably 3 or 4 years ago, that big increase that we saw because of that additional rigor by the PCAOB, I think we're now starting to see those SOX costs normalize. And in some instances, a reduction. We hope as we continue to move towards better ways to do our testing, better ways that the companies build out their internal controls, that those costs will continue to reduce. Certainly the trend that we see is to moving towards more automation in the process, greater use of technology, the use of things like bots, where if the business uses those connectors, those robotic process connectors that are in place, we do think that the testing of those activities will be a little easier and a little more straightforward and ultimately result in some lower costs of the compliance work, the test work that goes along with them.